Hey, hey, what's going on? Welcome to episode 41 of The Homefront. I will give everybody a few minutes to jump on, or a few seconds typically. But tonight we're coming in a new venue. I have a little bit different style going on tonight. I am out and about and I didn't have a chance to get home, but I wanted to make sure that I jumped on here and did the live show. So make sure you let me know that you're on so I can say hey. Hey DJ, thank you for the love and the likes. I really appreciate it. What's going on? Aunt Pat, how are you? Magic Mike, what's going on? Thank you guys for joining me this evening and every evening to talk about real estate. Come to you guys a little bit with a little bit of information on a daily basis about real estate. Today we're going to talk about your real estate goals and what's your investing goals. So I'll tell you a little bit about mine. I started off not knowing anything really. No, Mike. No. We don't do that. So I will give you one opportunity. Otherwise, I'm going to have to take that off there. What's going on, Tracy? Live in the car. Exactly. True hustle. So I'll tell you a little bit about my real estate goals and how I got started. I actually just kind of found Grant Cardone and Bigger Pockets. I don't know if any of you guys are real estate investors and know about Bigger Pockets, but that's what I started following. What's going on, Cameron? Hey, Tracy. I started listening to Bigger Pockets, pretty much what I call binge listening. It's a podcast. I got their free books. I started getting on their social media site, which is for investors, to try and learn about investing. It was all self-taught. I was already a real estate agent. I had decided many years ago that I was going to be a real estate agent, and I kept it moving. I originally got in about 2005. And then I decided at that point it wasn't the right time for me, so I got out. But I knew that when I was going to get back in, all I would have to do would be to freshen up my education. So in 2013, I got back in. I took an online course and got my license again, and I became an agent. So at that point, I think I just kind of got back in so I could build up my business. But I decided I had discovered investing, and that's when I decided to start looking at flips and rentals and things like that. And I didn't really have the understanding of what I needed to do. So again, I started listening to Bigger Pockets. I listened to them all day, every day, for every day of the week. And that's when I started really creating my desire to learn about all that good real estate knowledge. And now I know, after many hours of listening and reading, there are many types of investing in real estate. There's not just one. There are flips, there are rentals, there are multifamilies, which is a big business. And that rentals, apartment buildings are actually considered businesses. And their loans are actually done on the business and the asset itself. So it depends on your goals when you start real estate investing of what you're going to do. My personal goal is to start flipping first, to make the rehabs, to do the big chunks, get the big chunks of money up front, and then I want to get into transition into rentals later, and eventually owning apartment buildings, which are, like I said, the big business, and kind of want to have an empire, so to speak, of buildings so I can be in charge of my own finances. And when I need a big chunk of money, I sell off a building. And that's how I want to do it. I didn't get into real estate to just be a realtor and to be a real estate agent, but rather I got into it that's how I am an entrepreneur. That's how I want to create my own economy, so to speak, and be recession proof. And Grant Cardone talks a lot about that. He talks about why you shouldn't buy now, which we talked a little bit about last night. But I'd like to hear what your real estate goals are, what your investment goals are, if you are looking to do rehabbing or rentals at some point, because some people just want to own rentals, and that's a good goal too. It brings you a little bit of extra supplemental income when you don't have to do any work. It's just always coming in. You can have a property manager manage your properties for you, and you don't have to do any work. There's some cost involved with that, but again, it's a really good way to make income. that you're not doing regular work for. You're not working for a paycheck. What's going on, Valentine? Thank you for jumping on. We're talking about your real estate, not you specifically, but everyone else's real estate goals and investing goals in general. I kind of explained to everyone how I got started, and I'm pretty much self-taught. I've learned a lot of lessons in this first flip that we did and how important it is to really get your numbers right from jump, and I've talked about that a lot. Property management, worst job ever. It is. If you're managing your own properties, it's very difficult to do. I actually work with a property manager as my broker, and rentals, they are they can be very challenging, and it's one of the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Most actively, I want to say not sued, but it's one of those things that you get violations for quite frequently. So you have to come up with a way that works for you, and it can be a very daunting task. What's up, Kent? Thank you for joining. Be sure to hit the like button, love button, or share this out so that way you're not selfish with the information. Let everybody know what you're following, and maybe it would be helpful to them. I come to you guys every night with a little bit of real estate information to help you, and hopefully it brings value. And I like to interact with you guys and see what you're thinking. Service is shoddy, so had to go. Oh, that's okay. Thanks for jumping back on, Cameron. I appreciate you watching too. But yeah, I'd love to hear about your real estate goals, and if you have any questions about how you can get started. Again, I started watching Grant Cardone, Bigger Pockets. Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, was a big one. He kind of explains a little bit. But there's a ton of books that I've read in the last year or so that have really helped me increase my knowledge about investing. And there's a lot of ins and outs with a flip. You can't just say, okay, here's your basic formula. It's really got to be, you've got to run the numbers down. You've got to look at the house. They always tell you to put your eyes on the property. Make sure that your numbers are going to work, because, for example, if you're working with hard money, your numbers might not work. Whereas if you have cash, it's going to be, you need a little bit less, and it's going to be, you're going to make a bigger profit on it. So you have to understand what you're working with and all the fees involved and how much money you need, because you have to make sure that it's not going to be, you're not working for nothing, because that can ultimately end up happening if you have some surprises in the deal and you end up paying a lot more than you wanted to. So you have to make sure your numbers are right and make sure that your goals align with what you're doing. There's a big trend with flips, but it's not as easy as they make it look on HGTV, that's for sure. But I'd love to hear your feedback, so please don't hesitate to let me know what you guys are doing. And if you have any questions or I can help you in any way, please let me know. And thank you guys for joining. You guys have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.